Hey guys, in this video, me and two of my friends are going to be looking at your mocks and giving our opinion on them. If you want your mock to be featured in the next video, send it to me over on Instagram. Okay, so the very first mock we have for this week is Moss Eisley from Battlefront 2 created by Marfan, which depicts a battle between the Rebel Alliance and the Empire just as from the game itself. So what do we guys think about this mock?
Yeah, personally, I'm a big fan of the Battlefront games, so I really love this mock. I really like the texturing on the walls, really realistically made with all the mixture of the ingot pieces and the masonry bricks, and also these slanted walls that he included make it very pop.
Very effortlessly angled. I think a lot of people negatively say his walls are way too detailed, but I don't know, I think it makes the mock a lot more interesting to look at than just flat, plain.
I feel like Marfan has done a very good job here. So my only complaint was that basically everything on like the inside of a mock is over textured, and then on the edges of it, on the sides of a mock, you can see that it's all tan, which I appreciate. However, it is not as textured, and I can see that there is a little bit of texture and still in there. However, still, I feel like the transition between texture and non-texture could have been a little bit better, but overall the freeform is absolutely amazing. The stud to tile ratio on the ground is also great. I also want to point out that speeder, that typical speeder that also came in the Cantina set.
I think it adds a good pop to the mock as well, because it's all kind of the same color, but having it orange really makes it stand out.
On this second picture, which right now is on the screen, you can see the marvelous explosion that he made. I really love how it's integrated into the wall, and how you can see all these parts of pieces of a wall actually like flying off, and you can see the minifig positioning is nice. You can really feel the sort of impact.
You know what I say? No mock is complete without an explosion.
Okay, this next mock over here is by Blitz Bricks, and this is a mock for Downfall RPG. This mock is very interesting because it's not made as an overall mock, it's more made as an immersive scene.
I think it's really good. I love the amount of windows that are kind of displayed so you can see through them. There's always something to look at.
Yeah, I love how he used the arch pieces in Snot to make these circular windows on the first floor, and then on the second floor he just used a bunch of like trans clear black glass panel pieces.
Yeah, I love the background with all the buildings, how he used wedge plates, I think, yeah, to make actual structures.
Yeah, because these gaps can be used creatively, just like Blitz Bricks did over here, and you can see that they can actually represent windows. I love the amount of different layers this mock has. So this first layer is just the outside, then you have a second layer, which is the inside of a building. Then you have another layer, which is the background and the city behind of it, and then the fourth layer, which is the sky. And it's a really big shame that LEGO scenes do not get as much recognition and reach on social media as, for example, let's say just overall pictures of a mock.
Yeah, overall I really like how clean and smooth it really is. But one gripe I could point out is that I don't really feel like the inclusion of freeform in the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's supposed to be the pavement, it didn't have to be 2 studs tall. It could be 1 stud tall. That would make it look more realistic. But once again, I do not exactly know what this is supposed to represent. Overall, this is very beautiful from the composition and point of view.
One last thing that I really appreciate is the crewmate at the bottom left, which is really sassy.
Okay, this next mock over here is by the Rebel Ninja, and as you guys can see, the previous one was by Downfall RPG, which is focused on the Empire. This one is for Dark Times RPG, which is also focused on the Empire, however still in the era of clones. This mock, as you can see, it has a very nice elevation. you can see that it has the first layer of the ground was the rebels, and the taller level was the empire. I really like the colors. The use of medium flesh and dark tan for terrain always works fantastic, and you can see that the transition is very nice. It's not abrupt. You can see that the stud to tile ratio, which is very important for terrain, is done beautifully here. The vegetation is also on point. The mix of lime green, regular green, and olive green pieces is very nice there. The vehicle, the tank is very nice. The only thing is, how are those clone troopers not seeing the rebels like right below them? Like, that is just unbelievable. The background is nice. It's very white, very clean. This is another example of using sunlight and mocks. It's another example that you don't need some special equipment to take a very good picture of a mock.
I think the differentiation of levels makes it quite interesting, but I think both planes are a little bit flat. I feel like you could have got away with the top one being flat that made the bottom one a little more interesting, or vice versa. I just think overall it's a little flat for my taste. But
okay, this next mock is by Blitz Bricks, and this is actually the planet of Hoth. It's a very interesting mock, both in terms of the background and overall in the actual mock it represents. I gotta say, I really appreciate the little snow patches you can see on the landing pad. It's very nice. I appreciate the different angles as well on the base, the antenna.
The refinery looking imperial structure is really clean. He also uses the same technique that Marfan uses for the slanted walls, I think. You can see there with the cheese loops.
I think that's something that he gets really right. If you just kind of zoom in throughout the mock, there's a lot of really good angles throughout.
You can also see how perfectly balanced, how the base is not like very clean and it's not over detailed, which is the inclusion of snow. The layering of snow is amazing.
The Figbarf is also really nice with all the rebel figures.
Yeah, I love a snow trooper with those trans orange neon clip pieces. That's a very nice technique to show like the blaster fire. Okay, and this last mock for today is by Mandalorian Mac with a build from Rome. Now we have Gong over here in this call, who is actually Italian, so I feel like it's just essential to let him talk first on this creation right here.
Of course.
And I feel honored to have this kind of representation. The Roman kind of architecture here is represented really well with the column Roman style kind of technique that he made using the jumper plates. Towns.
I'm really curious what this red thing in the very far angle of the mock. What is all that red supposed to represent? Also, this very interesting terrain that he has right behind this figure. You can see that it's not flat. It has some parts, some bricks sticking out of it.
I like how the plant stem is kind of sticking out of the stem at the middle there.
I think another important thing to note is this was made for Fine Week 2022, hosted by Rebelog, so this build was completed in the matter of 24 hours.
Well, for 24 hours, I got to say this is very impressive.